What is up, everyone? Welcome to the North Shore 9 post-game show, sponsored by Primanti Brothers. I'm Neil. I'm with Doug. Doug, can you believe your eyes?
No, not really. Not really. You get 6 innings and 1 run from Skeens and you lose. You get 7 innings and 2 runs from Keller and you lose. And you get 3 2/3 from Bailey Falter and you win. I don't understand baseball. I don't understand anything, but the Pirates won. Hashtag raise it. For only
Yeah,
the
drop the hash.
15th time this year, we get to give out sandwiches. Very excited about that.
We've been starving the people, so
Yeah.
please put down those hashtag raises. Please drop them in chat, and at the end of the show, we will draw for some free sandwiches. We'll draw 2 people to win 2 sandwiches each. So please drop those hashtag raises. And before we get into all the action, we're going to talk about our friends from BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sporting bets action. Wow, your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sport wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top-style Vegas games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. Yeah, and you mentioned it. Pirates win 4-0, and you're right. We get 2 beautiful pitching performances from Mitch Keller, Paul Skeens, 0 wins, and so we finally get Bailey Falter, and it's Bailey Falter who can't really pitch on the road.
Right.
And the Pirates win because Chase Shugart is an absolute demon tonight.
Falter deserves a little. I mean, he didn't give up any runs. He 5 walks. He didn't have his command. He has been awful on the road, but what he grinded out enough, I suppose, and did. And like we often say, he did enough for them to win. But when he needed help, and Chase Shugart was great. And he got that, he got the help he needed. He got the relief. This is the blueprint for this team. Starting pitching, bullpen, and scored just enough runs, and that's what they did tonight. It was funny.
Yeah.
They got the production from the bottom part of the lineup. It obviously it wasn't Cruz. It certainly hasn't been Brian Reynolds lately, but Joey Bart snapped an 0 for 12 tonight late in the game. But yeah, it was Gorski and Triolo who are now tied for 4th on the team with home runs. They both have 2 home runs and 4 RBI.
Well, that's depressing, isn't it? But we're gonna be positive tonight. Let's be positive tonight, Doug.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we'll
a
talk.
win.
We'll talk about the offense. But I mean,
It's a
Billy.
win. It's a shutout.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a good win. They're
Yeah.
they were in all
gutsy
3
win.
games, right? They
It's a
were in
gutsy
all
win.
3 games. Against a team that certainly outspends them, certainly outclasses them, out talents them, out general manages them for sure. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you take it. They had a good series, a bounce here or there, and they could have taken this series. So, but yeah, you got a good win, and when you didn't get your best from your starter, and that's usually really, really difficult for this team to overcome. So.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate. Hashtag raise it.
Yeah. And we can start with Bailey Falter because you're right. He did not. Maybe I'm being harsh. He did not give up any runs today. He goes 3.2 innings,
Yeah.
3.2 innings, 3 hits, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So the command simply wasn't there tonight. But you are right. Bailey Falter did not let the Mets cross the plate despite all of his struggles. So it really starts in the first inning too. Bailey Falter gets Lindor to line out, then gives up a single. DeVientos, Alonso walks, Nimmo flies out, and then Starling Marte walks. So you already got two walks. The bases are loaded, and already you're kind of thinking, "Oh boy, here we go." Like I
Gonna be
know
a
I
long
was,
night, right?
yeah. And then he picks up Luis Torren, and gets out of the jam. And then that was just kind of the story of the night for Bailey Falter, where he just kept putting runners on base. He kept walking people. His fastball control was not very good tonight, and that's what he really needs to be on. Is he needs to have his fastball going, which he just did not have.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter.
Hammer, Hammer and Hank on Twitter or X, whatever. One of my favorite follows, one of our favorite people, said that Bailey Falter was having a Mike Williams type inning in that first inning, and basically he had a Mike Williams type outing. He yeah, scared the crap out of the entire outing, put guys on base, and it's so funny. He kind of wears his emotion, his exasperation, like on his sleeve. He's always taking a deep, heavy sigh and looking so frustrated. He looks so defeated all the time. But then he strikes the next guy out. I mean,
Mhm.
he's interesting to watch, and but you know again, you always want more innings, but he didn't give up. He didn't let them score, and that's
Mhm.
of paramount importance to this team. So, you
Yeah.
know, and then we
Yeah,
got the
and,
good
like,
lead.
it is interesting because I do have a theory that just he becomes a completely different pitcher when he's not pitching at PNC Park. Um, and I think the season has proven it. Like, when he
Oh
pitches at
yeah,
PNC, he's been on it. The last time I was on with Bailey Falter, he was money at PNC, and he just really struggles on the road for whatever reason. Um, whether it's the fact that places aren't as pitcher friendly for left-handed pitchers, whatever it may be, he really struggles. And I don't even think the hard contact was an issue, as big issue tonight. It really was just his control. But he gets pulled at 78 pitches today.
78 pitches, yeah,
I
41 strikes.
was, yeah, 41 strikes. That's an impressive, like,
Yeah.
barely over 50%. And Don Kelly goes to Chase Shugart, and he shuts the door because when Falter exits, the bases are loaded and you need one out. Now, it would be interesting to see if you could have stuck in there and gotten that final out, but it works perfectly. Chase gets Jose Azocar to line out, and the 2-0 lead is preserved. It was so. What did you think of that? What did you think of going to the bullpen that early?
Um, yeah, I mean, again, just because the way he'd been getting out of stuff, I would have been tempted to let him go, but
Mhm.
you can't argue with the result, right? I mean, you can't argue with the result. Sugar came in and got 7 outs, and um, gave some length there, and yeah, you can't complain about it, right? It's sort of like complaining about Paul Skeens only going 6 innings, right? It's like, hey,
Yeah.
6 innings, 1 run. What are we complaining about? So,
Mhm.
right. I mean, he went to the bullpen early. I mean, the situation certainly called for it, right? You had the bases
Mhm.
loaded, and you were walking guys, and you were, you weren't pitching great. So, um, yeah, it's again, and the proof is in the pudding, and the results were he got the out. He kept the shutout alive, and was obviously a big part of the shutout. So
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even like he came in and it was, like, mediocre. I mean, no strikeouts over 2.1 innings, which is really interesting, but only 1 hit,
1 hit,
no
yeah,
walks. I mean, that was really big to bridge the bullpen because that's kinda what you're thinking, even with the off day tomorrow. And that's probably why he felt a little bit more comfortable going to the bullpen, I imagine, so early is 'cause, you're looking at a long outing when your starter doesn't even get through 4. And so the fact that he was able to go to an extra 2 innings really, really started saving arms. You could then kinda go to Santana and Bednar. You didn't have to worry about bringing in arms like Baraki. No, it was Chase really saved the day today, and he's my player of the game for what it's worth.
yeah, yeah. I think that's a good call, right? I mean, of course, I always want to go with Gorski, but no. But yeah, I mean, it was big. He gets the out with bases loaded, and then gives you two more innings of efficient, shutout baseball. The Mets didn't stand a chance against it. They got one hit. That's it. And it was an outstanding effort from him. Good call by Donnie Kelly. And then again, it was followed up by Rainey. Rainey did his thing. Bednar did hit. Everybody. Santana, boy, he gave up some hard hit balls, but
Yeah, Santana was crazy that Santana was probably the shakiest part of the bullpen tonight.
right.
Because he gave up 2 balls that were very nearly home runs.
But our boy G1 Bay runs him down, and
he
he had
catches
a
the
nice
ball
game.
like a
G1 Bay had a
90% catch probability. Yeah, we'll talk about G1 Bay.
Yeah.
But no, overall, just a really, really solid outing by the pitching staff. The bullpen, carrying the load for well over 5+ innings. It's exactly what the Pirates needed. And you're right. Sometimes with this offense, you need a shutout to win.
Right.
Yeah, because
yeah, I mean that is the best formula for this team is not allow the other team to score runs,
Mhm.
and that still might only get us to extra innings. I mean, but yeah, it was an outstanding effort by the pitching staff today. Um, again, you can't say too much more. You can't ask for anything more. So,
Yeah, like the
they
pitching
pitched a
staff is just
shutout against the Mets, a very good offensive team.
yeah. I mean, the pitching staff has just been fantastic since we've left St. Louis too. I mean,
Yeah.
going back to the Brave series, like the runs they've given up per game is two last Friday, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 4 on Monday, 2 on yesterday, and 0 today. Like, I really do think that like this pitching staff deserves. We probably should have gone 6-0 just with how this team has pitched. Like
Right.
that is in a just world, this team goes 6-0. You start to feel the momentum building because the pitching staff has just been that dominant. And like
I know.
even when we go back to like even like on Monday where the bullpen had some issues, it wasn't even the bullpen's fault. It was just bad defense and like the Pirates just throwing away runs. And so, you know, it is exciting to think about that the pitching staff can pitch like this. Bubba Chandler is close. The service time, his internal improvements are almost up
Yeah.
near the end of May.
Thankfully, we have the DH now. He doesn't have to work on his
Yeah,
bunting,
yeah,
but
yeah, exactly. Of course,
he
yeah.
better come up next week because I am in town, next week. So I'll be there for the Reds and Brewers
mhm.
series, and I want to see Bubba's debut.
Yeah, so we won't knock anyone's socks off offensively, but like it is still fun to watch pitching wise. And it even is fun to watch sometimes when you're 5 innings of the bullpen. Like, sometimes it's fun to watch Tanner Rainey and Chase Shugart, just casual
Hey,
Pirates baseball.
right. We cannot be picky about how we get wins, right?
Yeah.
We say this all the time. We need to win. We need to win the Paul Skeens starts. We need to win these Mitch Keller. Look, we can win bullpen game starts. We can win, bad starts from a starter. However we win, we need every single win we can get. We can't be choosy,
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'll take it. It'd be nice. Like I said, it'd be nice if this kind of pitching would get us on a run. But we will. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, let's talk about the offense today because it was a weird day for the offense where they do score. They hit 2 home runs. They score 4 runs. We win the game by a sizable margin. And yet I'm still kind of sitting here feeling like we could have put up 9.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it was very much like last night where we were not executing with runners on. I mean, we were 2 for 6 today, which for sure is an improvement. But like you're still kind of itching for more with this offense. So the offense comes in the top of the second inning where Matt Gorski hits a second home run of the year. We've been talking a little bit this week about how it might be Gorski's time is up. But he comes in and he hits a 2-run homer. And then Jared Triolo hits a 2-run homer because it's crazy land today.
Right. There's something in the air tonight, but yeah.
uh,
Well, and Triolo's home run was right after G1 Bay bunted for a base hit. Um,
yeah.
so that's the biggest sort of like wow moment in the game for me, because we've talked about this for years. Like, why in the world? I mean, I would make him do it once a game, attempt it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
learn to use your speed, learn to bunt, learn to take advantage of your world class speed, and stop trying to hit home runs. You're
It
not that guy.
it's very impressive that it's taken him 3 years to find some way to use his speed in a
Right.
positive way.
Yeah,
I
yeah. It's
mean, that
but
infield
like,
bunt raises his batting average to .091.
ugh, oh,
Um, yeah. So, I mean, the big thing that I would take away from this is that, I like that Canario is playing every day. Um, I like that Triolo is hitting the ball better. Like it, you know, and I'm happy for Matt Gorski that he's get in his limited time. He's probably gone when when
when
Horowitz is
Horowitz,
activated. I
right?
have
I
to
mean, that
imagine.
makes sense.
So I am happy for him though. That he got a second career home run. But yeah, like we've been trashing the bottom of the lineup all season, and I think rightfully so.
Oh,
The bottom of the
absolutely.
lineup has been, atrocious, but the bottom like you said before, the bottom of the lineup is what got us over the line tonight. Because the top of the lineup,
Yeah,
it was rough
Frazier,
tonight.
yeah, Frazier's 0 for 5. McCutcheon got a hit,
And a walk.
and yeah, and a walk. And Reynolds 0 for 3, but he did draw a base on balls. Bart was 1 for 4, and that hit was his last at bat, I believe. So but yeah, Canario 2 for 4, Kiner Falefa 2 for 4, Gorski 1 for 4, home run. Bay 1 for 4, nice, well executed bunt. Um, and then Triolo 1 for 4 with the home run. So we get that kind of production from the bottom of our lineup,
Mhm.
and we could be a decent team.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Cruz is back soon, can give a little something there to the top of the lineup.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, and
thanks, Penn. Penn
thank you, Penn,
always.
for the
Yeah,
$2. Like Gorski and
yeah,
Triolo are heroes again. Praise be to he. Yeah. I mean, again, it's the least likely suspects you would have guessed. If you were a betting man, I don't think there's many people around the world that would have put any money on Gorski or Triolo, especially not Triolo.
no,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I mean, right, like Gorski's gonna get I mean, he's got great power.
mhm.
He's not much of a hitter, but he is going to run into some once in a while. Not often enough, sadly, but when it happens, it's nice. It was great tonight. I mean, it was, that could have been the difference in the game, because he made it 2-0. It was important there. Um,
Mhm.
Bridget of October, who always has some great thoughts, says Bay down, not Gorski. I would prefer that. I mean, obviously, I'd like to see Fam go. I'd rather see Bay play than
Yeah.
Fam, but that
The
maybe that's just me. I don't.
I'm not sure it happened just because Gorski's kind of been playing the first base role that
Right.
Horowitz is gonna come up, but
Which
that
which
being said,
bothers me, because I
mhm,
thought, especially with Cruz being hurt and Gorski being a good defensive center fielder, that he would
mhm.
be playing some center field. Well, again, classic Pirates. Let's not use a guy in his best position when there's a need for him at his best position.
I mean, yeah, I mean, what I would say is that, like, Gorski's best chance of staying on the
All right.
roster is that
This is an all-time great line there from Yinzer. If that's a Simpson episodes from like 1990. That reference. Holy cow!
yeah, they only
I mean,
had 4.
that's it. That reference is 35 years old. I love it.
I really do know I need to know if, like, there's one guy out there that has, like, a 14 Bort jersey. I'm sure there's one. Like, I saw 2 matching Denny Hechavarria jerseys at Pirate Fest one year, like, if those exist, I'm sure a Bort jersey's out there.
That's got to be right. I'm looking
But
for a Coca-Cola that says Doug on it, but I haven't found one yet.
really, not even Doug? I feel like it's pretty I think that should
Doug,
be.
right? That you would think, but never happens.
But I think Gorski's best bet for staying on this roster is that Valdez is hurt and now went to the 60-day IL, just because he can play first base, which is kind of a shame. Like, it's like you are right. Like, Gorski is a really, really good outfield defender. It's kinda like how the Pirates are using, the Pirates are using Billy Cook sometimes at first base. This doesn't feel right.
Right.
But another thing that'd be going against Gorski is that Endy's back soon too. So that's your backup first baseman there. I would rather see Gorski on the team than Bay too, but there's not many people I'd rather see than Bay. But I will give him his credit. This is the first time all year I can say that G1 Bay had a good game.
Yeah. Yeah. He made the 2 plays in the outfield. And that was a beautiful bunt hit. I mean, if
Yeah,
he
perfect.
could really incorporate that into his game, he could be a decent, down at the, back end of the bench piece. He really could. If he could utilize his speed effectively, it could be something. But
Well, unfortunately, he has to fight with the other 12, 26-man players on this team.
well,
So.
that's one of my favorite themes, right? We're a team full of 26 men. So.
Yeah. But yeah, continue at the top of the lineup. I mean, Bart, I think they said he snapped an 0 for 12, you said? I mean, I
Yeah, he
feel
was
like
over. Because
Bart's been
Reynolds.
horribly unlucky this series, I
Yeah,
think.
Reynolds has been 0 for 20,
But
and they said
Reynolds,
Bart was 0
yeah.
for 12. Yeah, and
I think
so
we have to talk about Reynolds too, because man, it's bad.
he had a rough game. Another rough game.
Yeah, not in the defense too.
Right.
Trying to
Yeah,
slide for a ball doesn't work.
Yeah.
Um,
And it was
not even
nothing to
able
do with the slide, nothing to do with anything. In his glove and out of his glove. I mean, it was just
yeah.
unfortunate. He makes that catch, 99 out of 100 times, but he's the struggle is real for Brian Reynolds right now.
Yeah, I mean, he does get a base with a walk, but he's 0 for 3 again.
Struck out looking
194
again,
batting
yeah.
average, 568 OPS. It's been really bad for a while now. And we talked about this on Monday. I talked about it with Jim. I'm sure people talked about it yesterday. It might be time for him to sit this weekend, as rough as that would be. Just don't let him play in the Philly series. Give him some time off.
Yeah, I would not be, against that at all. If he took 3 games off, with tomorrow's day off, 4 days off to just kind of clear his head. I don't think he'd want to do that. He is a grinder. He wants to get out of this thing. We're, June is ever so close. So, and without Cruz in the lineup, I mean, golly, you're now they've moved him to third for the past 2, batting in third in the lineup the past 2 games. I haven't heard, sort of any reasoning why they did that. Whatever, shake it up. Hopefully something can get him going soon, because we could really use,
I mean, it's
we could
rough,
use a hot streak from him.
especially without Cruz. Like, it's rough to take him out of the lineup for any given amount of time. But at this point, like, it's not like he's hitting better than the bottom of the order, unfortunately, which is crazy to think about.
No. Right
But
now, he's not hitting as good as Canario. He's not, he's not hitting as I mean, Gorski. Gorski's hitting 211 with a 632 OPS, versus Reynolds 194, 568. I mean, that makes no sense, right? That doesn't seem possible at any point in the season. After the first game of the season, you wouldn't expect you'd expect Brian Reynolds to have better numbers than Matt Gorski. So it's got to change, and baseball has a amazing way of how things even out. Like, so you would think that means he is due. He's due for a heater. And June has been good to him. I don't think he was as good last June as he has been in the past, though. So, and again, Josh from Bridge to Bucktober podcast pointed out he will take some time off in June because his wife is, their baby is due. So that'd be our luck. He'll be on an 18 for 20 stretch, and it's like, oh, he's got to go on paternity leave, and Bucko Mike will go crazy.
Well, Bucko Mike with his conspiracies about Brian Prego Reynolds, like there might be some truth to it. Maybe he just doesn't get. Maybe it's just too much. But no, I really hope he breaks out of it. And if he wasn't such a good ball player for us, I wouldn't have as much patience. And I honestly think if the Pirates were better, so like let's say the Pirates are hovering around 500, like even 4 games under, I think I'd be a lot more frustrated. because you could tangibly see that like Reynolds is really holding the team back from like going
Right.
over. But it's hard to get too mad at when like the entire team is just this bad, and
Yeah, again, it's not like there's a, oh, let's put Tommy Pham in there instead. Oh, let's put
mhm,
in, any of these other, right there. Whoever we swap him out with in the lineup is hitting 170 versus his 194. So,
mhm.
and with him, there's upside or just track record and belief. I don't believe he's forgotten how to hit, and I don't believe he's lost his mojo. So he's going to be fine, and we have to be patient. And they're mentioning Rob Makoviak in the chat tonight, and when his child was born. Do you remember that against the Cubs, a Memorial Day doubleheader? I think it was. Yeah, I think he had, I don't know, he had 2 home runs in one game, maybe a home run. And I mean, it was just an unbelievable. His kid was
Yeah.
born. He comes back, and he was, and Greg Brown was like, "Look at that baby go!" And all, those corny, that stuff. But it was an awesome, awesome, performance, and it was, just fun with, like I said, the birth of his child. Hopefully, Reynolds can get us some of that. But before,
Yeah.
hopefully he can start that with, Friday if he plays.
I'm glad we've hit peak. Like the Pirates win, and now we're talking about Rob Makoviak. Like
There you
the
go.
2004 baseball Buccos. Like this is great.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, and outside of that, it was like a pretty like low key game. Very comfortable. Very oddly comfortable for the Pirates. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we start giving away sandwiches?
No, no. I mean, it was it. It was, again, we say it is the blueprint for how they're going to have to win games. They need
Mhm.
great pitching and, 4 runs or more. It'd be nice. It'd been nice if we could have got a fifth run. We're in
Yeah.
that terrible stretch.
Sorry, I
DiNardo
meant
had
to mention
pointed it out.
this.
Yeah.
I meant to
Uh,
mention this. Yeah, like the
I'm teeing it up for
Pirates.
you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about it. But the Pirates are, despite they still don't score 5 runs, they are now one of 16 teams to have not scored 5 runs in 20 games in the live ball era. So we're watching history, folks.
Yeah, this is historic ineptitude. I mean, man,
Yeah,
it's just killing me.
it's rough to watch.
This once proud franchise who is about to go to be under 500 all time for
Mhm,
like the first time since 1909 or something ridiculous. Just
mhm.
uh, awful,
He
awful.
did get on base a bunch today, so I'm going to shout him out that our shortstop IKF is hitting better than Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah. Hey, IKF has had he's been very good, and he's been better at shortstop than we thought. And
He grew
those
into
first,
it.
yeah, those first couple games, my God, every time he made a throw, a flip to second base, it looked like he doesn't know how to do it. But he is somehow
Mhm.
worked that out, and maybe some great coaching. I don't know. I don't know who did it. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, he is playing pretty well at shortstop. He's hitting. He doesn't have power, but nobody on this team has any power. We are a singles hitting team. So yeah, it's. I'm actually. I mean, they have moved him up a little bit in the lineup, but I'm surprised they don't have him batting lead off or second or
Oh,
something because
he's been jostled around. Like he was hitting leadoff earlier this series. Like now he's hitting six. Like it's interesting how they're using him.
I
It-
love David and his fantastic chats. So so-
well, we've held the people long enough, so let's start handing out sandwiches.
hashtag raise it. Let's get it in there. I mean, this is a rare opportunity to win some from Any Brother sandwiches. We don't do this every night.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Sorry, give me a second, guys. I pressed the wrong button. So we have let me pull up. We have
There we go.
110 entries. So if you want free
Outstanding.
sandwiches, make sure you drop hashtag raise it. I'll give everyone a couple seconds to drop their final entry. And then we'll draw 2 people.
And you know the drill. Hit like, subscribe, join. We have a lot of options there. Support us. Tell your friends about us. May 24th, the tailgate. which will be exciting. I will be there. I'm afraid to see our chat. They're all going to be very thin because we haven't been giving out sandwiches, but they're going to look hungry. But we'll be giving out sandwiches at the tailgate for Manny Brothers. So make sure you join us. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we're gonna go now. 113 entries, under 14. Thank you everyone who has joined, and we'll go.
Outstanding, yeah.
Charlie, congrats, Charlie.
Congratulations, Charlie. Is that Vec, as in Rec, like the Bill Vec, the old White Sox owner, the great promoter?
I'm not going to try because whenever I try to pronounce things,
the pronunciations have not been your specialty. So we'll
just make sure you reach out to us on any of our socials, and we'll get you those sandwiches. And our next winner is David.
David, we'll stick with David there. David, congratulations, David.
Yeah. Again, just reach out to us and we will get those sandwiches out to you. So successful show, Doug.
He is a descendant of Bill Vec. That's awesome.
Handed out sandwiches.
Yeah, it's such a much better way to end the show than with me whining about something, that this team can't hit again. Giving out sandwiches is so much more fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we will, let's see, we'll be back. Well, I'm guessing tomorrow night is NS9. The boys have been bringing the heat all year on that. So the big three have been doing their thing, and make sure you tune in live, and we'll have a post game Friday night. And if anyone's going to be in Philadelphia, I will be there Sunday for the Paul skiing start. So,
and I will be there Friday for the Zach Wheeler bobblehead.
Are you going to be at the Friday game?
I am. So.
Oh man, I would have. Neil, I need this kind of information. I would have made sure
I put it in the group chat, Doug. You got to read the group chat.
No, I don't.
Well, our poor communication aside, thank you all for joining. Have a great night, everyone, and let's go Bucs.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucs.